Actually, let me turn the mic off. Give me just a sec. Okay, let's see something here. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. You should be able to hear me now, I think. At least when the delay catches up or whatever. So, new subscriber. Excellent. Alexandria Akins. Hey there, I'm not hearing you. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, it just... Okay, I was... Never mind. Anyways, okay, all I'm doing is I'm like posting to X and IRC and Discord the links to this. By the way, Alexandria, where did you hear from me about? Were you just searching YouTube, or were you on Discord, or even IRC? Although I don't imagine a lot of people from IRC come in here. In fact, I don't really usually have that many. It's me. Oh, cool. Okay, that's cool. Actually, finally decided to join the stream, huh? Hopefully you won't be bored, but we'll see here. There's one thing. Oh yeah, I'm refreshing my Rumble deal here, and I just kind of use it to kind of keep track to see where we're at. Okay. yeah, I know the Discord. Yeah, senpai. Let's see. Oh, some other people in IRC were talking about the audio too. Yeah. I just turned the audio off for a second because I left, and then use the bathroom, and then come back and like turn off the fan and stuff. So I turned it off temporarily, but I forgot to turn it back on. Anywho, let's start. It's almost time, 11:10. Okay. All right, so let me go back into Restream, and I'm gonna go refresh Restream, and then I'm gonna go into the chat. So, okay. Yep, I have time. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I know people have different different time zones, and different work to do. Most people have jobs unlike me, but okay. So I'm gonna type something in the Restream chat. Okay, this is Restream chat, so you can see me in YouTube and Rumble. Okay, Rumbly. Or should I say Big Red and Mean Green? Okay, now let's go to... Here, I'm going to go ahead and just start up Redot. Well, I don't know how you would say it depending on who you are, but I used to call it Godot, because that's how I thought it was pronounced, and afterwards I started using it, but I still liked using Godot, and then when Redot came on, I just decided Godot. Oh yeah, that's right. Well, yeah, I'm in Central Florida, so if you're in Florida, or if you're just on the East Coast of the U.S., or maybe even Canada, I don't know if Canada, it's farthest, it's farthest East Coast is the same as the whole East Coast, the regular East Coast. I don't know how you say that. Anyways, let me pull up, where is it at? OBS. There we go. Let's go to desktop. Aha! There we go. Easier to get us. Yeah. I don't know if Rook, if you're in here, but actually he's probably not. Never mind. Yeah. It's tempting. I was mowing my lawn earlier today, so someone in IRC was saying it's easier to get a Skype and go old school on it. Yeah, I mean, if I could lift a Skype and I wouldn't, feel like crap afterwards, and I could get good at it, a Skype can make pretty quick work. But anyways, that's not important here. Okay, so this is what we're working on today. Now it's what I've been working on for a few days, but I didn't figure out I hadn't figured out stuff for him to do. So okay, so just in case you don't know, um, okay, so firstly, it's going to be a fully interactive point and click adventure. You know, like kind of you play in the '90s. You know, Monkey Island. You know, King's Quest. That sort of thing. And even of course there are newer ones, but those are the main ones that the 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 more well known, right? Um, but I'm doing it in phases, and this is all totally me. So it means it's going to take a whole heck of a lot longer to finish the entire game. But it's done in such a way that I can manage it. My brain can manage it. So right now is the quote unquote choose your own adventure phase, and it's not even a true choose your own adventure game because the final game, it's a fairly linear story, but then you'll be able to like switch characters and whatever. But right now it's just a linear story, and I'm providing interactivity by adding choices into in between each story beat. So this is a story beat in particular. This is where John, a guy from our realm, has been brought into Enchanted Land. Okay, so I don't Comey or Alexandria. I don't know how much you know of the story here, but basically it's a Magic Kingdom turned tourist resort, and it's fallen on hard times. So all the school. Okay, so there's like 4 schools, and so that you can live out your fantasy to be a knight or a princess or a fairy godmother or a wizard. And but they've mostly been closed. The resort was sold to somebody, and it's rumored that a guy that was banished previously is returned. The king starts acting strangely. His best friend and advisor, the wizard Hubert, who was originally Harold, because I guess subconsciously I was thinking Harry Potter, but then later on I was going to go, well, I can make that into an actual, like a joke, like an in joke or like a Easter egg or whatever. And I was just going to make a joke on it, and then later on I decided, it's like copying, and so I changed his name to Hubert, and then I might change it back to Harold, but I don't know, I haven't decided yet. Anyways, so he brings in somebody from our realm because he wants a pair of outside eyes to help him figure out what's going on. And Hubert sends John to night school to find out what's going on over there. And night school is the only one that's really open. Well, actually, technically, Fairy God College is still open, but all the ladies that wanted to become fairy godmothers for the weekend or for the week or whatever for their vacation, they're being trapped in there, and they're trying to turn them into evil witches, and technically it's closed up, but it's still running. Night school is actually open, but now they're actually just training the military there with real weapons and everything. So he sends John to night school and to Princess Prep, which is the one for princesses, and to find out what's going on. And so he goes to night school, and then he has to get into night school, and then I have all this stuff up here when he gets into the entrance. He has to have a badge. He makes a badge. He goes in, and finally he's able to go into the different tents on the school grounds. And so yesterday I decided that he's going to go into the enrollment tent, and they're going to mistake him for a trainee. And then before he can get any questions answered, he's going to have to go through these tests that the trainees go through. So he's going to have to go through trial by gauntlet, trial by combat, and trial by I call it trial by mount. Like I use the AIs. I use Grok and ChatGPT to help me like bounce ideas and stuff, and was coming up with something to do with jousting, and horsemanship, and then there's I don't know how you pronounce it, equestry, where you get the word equestrian from, but it's really kind of archaic and nobody uses it, and so it might be kind of confusing. So I call it trial by mount. Okay. Anyways, okay. Rumble is like YouTube. Go to rumble.com. You'll find videos and stuff. It's not exactly like YouTube. It's a little bit different in the way that they set things up, but they proposed to be an alternative. Basically, when YouTube was shutting down like conservative creators, content creators, and conservative Christian whatever content creators, Rumble kind of came out of that. And well, they weren't just doing conservatives; they were also they had a thing called Apocalypse, and they were starting to really come down just on creators in general, and it was even starting to affect some non-political, discourse or whatever. So around that time, Rumble came out as an alternative, and you know, and to supposedly not censor your free speech and stuff. So you kind of find a lot of conservative content. If you don't like conservative content, then maybe not Rumble's not your thing. Maybe it doesn't mean it's all conservative because they let anybody come in. It's just that the fact that they don't censor a bunch of stuff, basically, kind of like YouTube does. Anyways, okay, okay, that's cool. Um, okay, so yeah, you don't know anything about my story. Okay, so I basically just told you the story. It's essentially about a magic kingdom that turned tourist resort that has fallen on hard times, like I said. So the king starts acting strangely. He then sells enchanted lands out to this guy named Maximilians. I know it kind of sounds kind of corny, Maximilians, alliteration, and to Max Millions because he's a millionaire or whatever, billionaire, whatever he is. But anyways, so he sells it out to this guy, and then immediately he closes down the schools. Princess Prep is closed. Wizard U is closed. Like I said, Fairy God College has been kind of shut up. It's running, but it's basically not letting any of the vacation or would be fairy godmothers uh, uh, from leaving. It's keeping them from leaving. I said that right. Um, and night school uh, is actually training with real weapons and stuff. So they're actually training the military. And then there's some rumors of, or well, not rumors, but dragons. Okay, so before you go to vacation, right, and you want to become a knight, right, and maybe you want to slay a dragon, and so all of this was facilitated by magic, basically, where it was kind of like a safe environment, right? You go to a theme park, presumably it's a safe environment to be able to kind of live out whatever fantasies, right? But lately the dragons are pretty mean now. They're terrorizing small villages, setting crops on fire, stealing sheep, that sort of thing. And it's not even like them to do that. They're not actually evil. Dragons aren't actually evil, but they're acting evil right now. And citizens and tourists are disappearing. There's not many tourists now. Most of them either ended up disappearing or they're not really receiving any new any new guests right now. So so basically Hubert, who was the king's best friend, started noticing that the king's not acting like himself, and so he wants a fresh pair of eyes. So he comes and brings John from our world into Enchanted Lands to help him figure it out. And so this is basically the gist of the story. Yeah, thanks. It's been kicking around since like 2005, literally like 20 years. I tried to make the game several times. That's why I'm doing it in this phased approach. That's why you see this text here. In fact, I'll run the actual game here just for a quick second. And this is just basic what it is. It's just text. The choices are in text, so there's nothing special here as far as programming or development or whatever. So yeah, take a magical vacation, slay a dragon, rescue a princess, become a great and powerful wizard, or stay at one of our many fine hotels. Anything is possible. At least that's what the brochure says. Enchanted Lands, the magical resort kingdom, is not doing so well. The king seems to be acting strangely. Enchanted Enterprises has been bought out by Enchanted Holdings Inc., and those names are subject to change right now. But I'll get into that later. Uh, Administration has closed the various magical training schools, and a dark presence has returned from vanished realms. And is there no one that can solve these mysteries? Will schools ever reopen? Will there ever be any more stupendous vacation deals? Stay tuned. I know it sounds corny. It sounds corny when I'm saying it. Yeah, it might be funny when you read it, or funny when you actually when I get to the actual part of where I actually have graphics and everything. But it just sounds kind of corny when I say it. Okay, hit 1 to continue, 0 to quit. And I actually basically made this little engine, it's not really engine, but this a little bit of code that does this within like a couple of weeks. And really, it's a few hours at most. Really, there's not much to it. That the actual game itself has taken like forever, but this is fairly quick. Enchanted Lands, magical. Okay, let me just go a little bit further here. Hero goes into his home, goes directly to the study where he sees many books, scrolls, and newspapers. There's also a large crystal ball in its own cradle in the center of the room. If you wish to examine the books, scrolls, and papers, hit 2. If you wish to look into the crystal ball, go to the crystal ball exactly. Hero walks over a giant crystal ball, starts to peer into it. Okay, so that's basically the gist of the game. It's just a basic like a choose your own adventure kind of thing right now. Eventually, it's going to have. I'm going to implement a parser, inventory, puzzles, and then I'm going to start adding graphics, like visuals. Like they'll start out with little like thumbnails that will eventually turn into backgrounds, but animations and the whole nine yards basically. But right now, this phase is just it's essentially I'm doing the whole story here, right? I don't have any puzzles because it's just you pick something. Two to pick John. Oh, I wonder why that doesn't work. Ooh, one works. I'll have to look into that. Something didn't work there like it was supposed to. Anyways, okay, so that's the game, and this is the actual. This is in the Redot editor here. It's basically Godot 4.3 is what it is with a different color scheme, basically. All right. So, okay. So these are okay. So these are basic Serbies. So let me show you how many there are. There's a ton of them. Okay. These up here where it kind of fans out. That is these are the ones that I already did here, and that doesn't represent very many. So like it's like a fifth of the whole story or the whole thing. This is about 4/5 or maybe I don't know 3/4 maybe it's 3/4. Maybe this is like a quarter or whatever. So there's like 93 different quote unquote pages, and really all I mean by pages is they're essentially the story beats. Okay, so basically I go from story beat to story beat, and then I add these choices that will go to the next story beat. Uh, hey Shinde, welcome to the stream, and hey Crasher, welcome to the stream. Uh, the game is coming along very very slowly, but we're getting there. Just yesterday, even though I didn't actually make progress on this page, I actually decided I figured out what John's going to do here. Because the only thing I have on here on this page right here is while inside night school, John learns that Princess was going to speak at Princess Prep but never made it before it was closed down, and the headmistress there hasn't been seen in months. Someone tells him the knights are using real weapons and the dragons are terrorizing small villages. So really, the only bit of information that I have here, it's the only notes that I came up. So some of this I didn't like go and like think a lot through. That's kind of what I'm doing now, essentially. But the only real piece of information here is that the knights are using real weapons here, and he's trying to figure out what goes on. So I decided that he's going to go in there, and they're going to assume that he's a trainee, and before he can get any questions answered, he's going to have to go through these 3 tests. I say the 3 trials because I'm thinking of Monkey Island, Secret of Monkey Island, where they had the 3 trials, and I was even thinking. Uh, I used C++ a long time ago. I don't. I really don't know what you'd be installing. I don't know your system, and So I'd have to actually look up how to install or what to install or whatever. You know, Visual Studio maybe. I don't know. Uh, now that Visual Studio is free, I guess, or something. There's a bunch of different stuff you can do. It's just been ages since I used C++, so if anybody has any idea, you can help them out. But for right now, I'll just focus on this because yeah. So sorry, I don't know. Find there's got to be tons of tutorials out there on YouTube or well, Rumble doesn't have so many doesn't have so many things like do it yourself stuff or tutorials or or like old movies or whatever. It's more like commentary and stuff. But and then of course some we got some game streamers and it has a few things. It's got more than it used to have. But anyways, okay. So I decided he was gonna go ask. He's gonna go. He goes into the enrollment tent, and the desk sergeant tells him to go over this table. And there's these three tests he's got to do. And I was thinking yesterday, drunk, I'll drunk punch it. Let's focus on the game first. Yeah, sure. Um, okay. Oh yeah, yeah. I got. In fact, I missed a spot back here. I won't show it to you now. I showed it. I had it on screen earlier when I had the webcam full screen, but okay, so the three trials. I was thinking of the what it was called the three trials in Monkey Island, wasn't it? Anyways, I was thinking, if I ever get to the full finish stage where it's full point and click and everything, maybe what I do is actually completely copy the Monkey Island scene where he's talking to the pirate leaders, except for it's these three nights, and maybe they'll be aware that they've seen something like that before, and it'll be like the exact same thing. Maybe it won't be counted plagiarism because the idea is it's kind of a joke reference. But right now, I'll call it the three test or whatever, just to get along here. So okay, so what I have here is I got three different things to do. Okay, you can do them in any order. And like I said, there's not a real game here. There's not a puzzle here. Although I think what I'm going to do is eventually, when I get to the puzzle portion, when it becomes a text adventure, and then on to when it becomes a graphic adventure, uh, I will have this deal where you can wander around night school talking to different NPCs and looking at different things to get some hints about how to beat the three challenges. I could call it the three challenges. That might be all right. All right. So, without further ado, see what time is it? 11:30. 11:30. 20 minutes. Okay. I don't know if I'll do the drawing thing today. Oh, okay, so I had this schedule where I decided that I would do 15 minutes of like drawing practice, just so there's something visual on the screen, and plus I need to get into practice of drawing because my drawing skills are kind of poor right now, especially with the graphics tablet. It's really poor. I'm better on paper, and I used to be okay on a tablet, but so now I have to get into practice. Like pull up a bunch of like kid drawing pages and like do tracing, just trace stuff so I can be able to do lines and curves and circles and stuff. You know. Anywho, so okay, so I'll show you the process here. All right. And again, if you don't know the drill, I divided this into two streams instead of doing one stream like I used to, where I'm actually going to be taking uh, an hour break in between, where lunch would normally be, but it's not going to be lunch. It's just gonna, I don't know, maybe I'll make some coffee or something. But so right now it's 11:31 my time, and I will be done at 1 o'clock my time. Then I will stop the stream for about an hour till 2 o'clock my time, and then I'll do another 2 hours at the. I call it the part two of the same stream, even though they're two separate streams. So, anywho, it might actually work out better too as far as content goes on the YouTube channel, because now it shows up as two things, even though it's still vaguely the same time. So, yeah, that's cool. Um, my drawing is horrible, abysmal. Well, actually, a long time ago. Okay, so when I was a kid, I used to draw cartoon characters. That's mostly Disney cartoon characters. That's what I did. Later on, I took a few art classes in high school, and I didn't ever really had any like real actual art training exactly. I could copy stuff pretty good, and probably now I could probably copy something okay, probably, but I just can't do anything with the graphics tablet right now. My hand gets shaky, and I don't know. It's just all weird. It's total crap. I have to generate some muscle memory, and I have to actually learn to draw with my elbow or my whole arm instead of my wrist and all that good stuff. Anyways, okay, so let's see how we do here. Okay, so if you notice this box here. This is actually the viewport, the redot viewport. And if I were to run this as a scene, you wouldn't even see any of this because it's blank. This is the origin point right here, where this little lock icon is. Um, because when I actually add rooms, it will add it to 0, 0. I don't have code in there to add it to where my mouse is or whatever. It'd be a little bit more complex because what I'm doing, in fact, what I'll do in the second half is I'm working on the layout tool, a proper layout tool, so that I can make I can do a whole bunch of stuff. Rewriting the thing about drawing lines. In fact, I'm going to be testing that out today. Um, and I'll have to write some stuff for camera, viewport, and all that jazz that this kind of automatically does already. Zoom in, zoom out. Anyways, proper buttons, and it won't be just like in the editor anymore. It'll be actual a scene, like a redot scene. Okay, so we start there. We got a new location here, and let's see. Now, okay, so the first thing I should do though before really doing anything is let's go into pardon me. Um, let's go to rooms, and let's go. What am I looking for? Night school, right? Night school, night school. You notice all these? These are actually different pages. I call them rooms. The class is a room. Eventually, they're going to be like regular rooms, like in a game, right? You'll be able to go into and out of them. They'll have like an exit that goes both ways. And right now, the way it's set up, there, I have this thing called doors, and doors has a destination. It has, of course, it has an ID, which is its name, basically, and it has a thing called choice, which is basically the number that you choose to pick the particular choice that it goes to. Um, and so I've got a lot of these. But the reason that I have this number on the left side is because this represents a single location. Although, truth be told, these random villages, they're going to be all over the place. So this is not really relevant to that. But we got Lapswood Edge, we got Dwarf Mines, we got Night School Entrance, everything that happens at the entrance. And when literally there's going to be multiple screens, but that's kind of what these are like. These are individual pages, technically separate rooms, but because it's choose your own adventure thing here, there is essentially the different pages, right? So night school, I have a night school 1, and I'm going to go ahead and name this new one Night School 2. Night School 1 is probably somewhere further down the chain here. I don't know where it's at exactly. But so Night School, and let's go ahead and copy we're going to copy the name here, and I'm gonna go in here, ID, and I'm gonna paste it. I'm gonna call this Night School 2. Okay, see it updated the name and updated it in here. And actually, yeah, I probably need 3 of them, right? So for basically the 3 choices. Well, actually, that's not true because he's gonna go into the enrollment tent. Uh, and let's see. From here, he goes in the enrollment tent, and then I guess when he goes over to the okay, so we're gonna need this is for the enrollment tent, and honestly, I should probably name it enrollment tent, but the reason I'm doing this is just because I'm trying to keep the story beats kind of together, basically. So so yeah, um, I'll probably end up renaming all these, and it's gonna be a whole rigmarole, especially. I guess I could do something now that would make sure it's easier when I have to actually change stuff, but it's gonna take I'm gonna have to do like a whole bunch of stuff to change everything. So I just decided I get this done when it's working, and when I go on to the next phase, I'll change names then. Okay, so if you're wondering why I'm looking over here, it's because I got a TV, a small cheapo TV acting as a secondary monitor. So it's got like Restream and YouTube and Rumble and X in browser tabs, and then I have IRC and Discord over here, and then OBS is actually over here too. So that this desktop is fairly unobstructed. Okay, so this one is in the enrollment tent. This one goes over to the table of the 3 knights. They're administering the challenges, and then here we'll just I'll rename these afterwards, and then we're gonna need 1, 2, and 3. Oops. 1, 2, and 3 will be the choices. Will actually be the challenge parts of it. Okay, so we got that, and then I guess the next thing is, so let me go and rename the rest of these. Actually, let's do something here. Let me go ahead and type in. Here, we're gonna put this on its own line, and then we're gonna type enrollment tent, tent like that, just as a sort of a placeholder here. Okay, so and I'll show you about saving here in just a second. This is done via editor plugin, and this is tool scripts. That's why these lines are drawn, and that's why I'm making a layout tool, because I don't want to use. It starts getting messy with the tool scripts, because tool scripts run inside the editor, right? Whereas scripts that are attached to a scene or something only runs when you're running the scene, and so it kind of leads to some kind of weird. Like there's a point where if I deleted a room that it would attempt, I have it select like something else, but then it would eventually crash, and that's because it was I was releasing the old room there before it had a chance to like get rid of it, right? And so there's a thing called queue free, so it queues it up to be freed on the next frame or something. And so it was basically causing a problem. So I had to create a holding node to put the deleted item into, and then it would end up like removing it later, basically. But in any case, so right now these are just these exist only inside the editor right now, because I haven't actually saved it yet. Okay, and I can't just save it like normal. It's not a normal scene save. It's actually saving the JSON files and the metadata, which is right now it's just the positions of the rooms in the scene. So okay, so let's go ahead and paste here. We're going to call this 3. So, and then we're going to go in here. And we're going to do the same thing here and call that 4. And call this 5. Okay. I know it's kind of boring, but it needs to happen here. And we're just going to call this 6. Okay. Because I already have a night school one, like, somewhere way down the line when I originally made these. So, even though these are together and I'm naming them kind of the same names here, some of the ones that are essentially the same location. So it's sort of like the same location, basically. The idea is night school. You each go into night school, and actually, like I said, each of the tents, each of the locations are going to eventually be their own room, their own location. So, but I'm not worried about that right now. Okay, so we got 4, 5, and 6. All right, and let's go ahead and let me think here. Okay, let's put this on for it. Okay, and let's go ahead and put. Look at this hit 0 to quit. It's like super clear, and this isn't. It's just because it's zoomed out, or what? You know, it's not 100%, so it's not 100% clear. Okay, 0 to quit. Nothing here yet. What was I gonna say? Okay, so this is also enrollment temp, but it's over the challenge table. We'll call it the challenge table. Okay, and then we'll go over here. And we'll go ahead and call this what time is it? So 12:10 is where I'm supposed to break for the drawing practice thing. I'm still not sure if I'm going to do that today or not, because it means moving my keyboard out, moving my graphics tablet here, starting up. I'm going to be using Blender Grease Pencil, and I might also do Krita. I might do both Blender and Krita. Okay, so what was I going to put here? Okay, so this is the trial by gauntlet, and it means running a gauntlet. I should even, I don't know, name it something like that. Anyways, this one's trial by combat. I don't like sneezing, so I'm stopping myself from sneezing. Just think, I don't like sneezing. Okay. And then let's go over to here, and this is, okay, so I was trying to get, I think I was trying to get Grok to help me with the name here. Calling it trial by mount. Basically, it's a jousting tournament. So, it's Grok suggested trial by steed. I was thinking about using equestrian because that's where you get the word equestrian from, which is basically horsemanship. I was going to say trial by horsemanship, but I guess it was thinking that horsemanship is not really a concrete noun like combat and gauntlet. Horsemanship kind of is, I guess, could be considered a noun. So I went with trial by mount because it sounded good yesterday. Right now it doesn't sound so good, but whatever. It's going to be basically jousting. So gauntlet's basically an obstacle course. Then combat, he's got to fight with swords, maybe mace, maybe, you know, kind of like you do, and then he's got to do a joust. And this is how they induct their people into the military. And once they pass this, then they go off to essentially like a boot camp. But so the way I'm going to work it is, I'm actually not going to make these like action scenes or anything like that. So it's not going to be like a mini game or you know, or any like reflex thing. what he's gonna do is, if you fail the first time, you're gonna go wander around a bit, and you're gonna find some more information, some more details, and some more hints on how to beat the challenges. But right now, I'm not doing any puzzles, so that's not going to be in there. In fact, let me pull up my notes. Recent. These are actually the design notes here. Pardon me. Okay, so let's go all the way down. And yeah, 234 pages because there's different things in here. Sometimes like the list of pages. Sometimes it was just various notes that had come up. Let's see. It's taken for a recruit. Tries to ask three nice questions. They'll say that they'll only answer if he goes through the three trials. Each time he doesn't pass the trials, he's released and has to go through the process again. Possibly he can find clues of how to beat each test by exploring and asking around. Then finally, if he does beat it, he can actually ask this question from some sort of commander or something. I haven't really decided. There's going to be like a higher up that once he's been quote unquote officially inducted, he's gonna go ask somebody some questions. Anywho, okay, so we got the 3 deals there. There's nothing saved just yet. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to call. Okay, let me show you the rooms again. So these are only 2 night school and night school 1. See, this is the actual JSON here. Princess Prep. Anyways, okay, that's further on down the line. Okay, so notice night school here and night school 1 here. And when I hit save room data, assuming nothing goes wrong, yeah, nothing shows up because I removed most of the debug print statements. So I was thinking about going ahead and re-adding some print statements so that you'd get some confirmation of something that happened. But I decided that since I'm working on the layout tool, I don't need to worry about anything extra for this. I'm just going to use this to make rooms until I get the layout tool done, and I'm going to use the layout tool after that. Anywho, so let's see. Okay. Well, for how many people were actually chatting here in the chat, there's only 4 people actually watching total, which is kind of interesting. Huh. There's 2 watching here in YouTube and 2 watching in Rumble. That's kind of interesting. Anyways, if you notice here, Night School 1, which is that other one, Night School 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are in here now. So now they're saved. Okay. And let me show you how we make doors. So let's go to Night School and let's let me think. Actually, there are going to be more of these ones in here too. Maybe I should go ahead and make them. I was thinking, here, let me look and see the, this is, okay. This is the multiple choice thing that I have up here, where, I got multiple pages for essentially the same thing. So that way you can read the pages in any order you want. That's that configuration. Here, let's see. This is the 9-way configuration, where basically you get to pick which of the 3 choices you want, but then each one after that is in a specific order. And that's just so I can keep the amount of pages limited. And so I keep changing this up every so often. This is a little bit different because each goes to different things and they cross over and all this stuff. And then there is this, and this actually represents is similar to the one down below. It just looks a little bit different, but it's the same amount. It's like 15 of them. 15 pages, and some of them are duplicates. And the bad part is it means, like 3 times as many different like pages. But the good part is, well, that's not true. It's like 3 more pages when I do it this ways. But the good part about this way of doing it is I can word them differently each time, so that depending on what choice you make, you might get a slightly different wording, and so it comes off as like a slightly different flavor, even though it says the same thing. But here I was just gonna plan on doing like the the three way um, where each is in order after the fact. So you only get 3 choices, and then the rest of them you have to um, read them in order. So I keep on changing up configurations so that it doesn't get too static for too long. So I guess that's what I'll do here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. Oop. Actually, we're gonna pull this down, that one down. This one goes here, this one goes here, and this one goes here. Now we're gonna do the same thing that I did with these other ones here. So this is 6. Actually, I'm gonna copy this one in particular, and then when I go over here, and the numbering is kind of arbitrary, so it's not a big deal. So wait a second. Oh. This is the one I wanted to. Yeah, I don't want to miss that one. The new location is what I'm mess with. Okay, so this is going to be 7. This one is. Why do I keep clicking that stupid? Okay, this one's going to be 8. 8 or 8. And this one's going to be 9. I'll get to making the doors in a second. Here, you can see how I make the doors. Oop. Oh. 9. Right? Yeah, let's just zoom in a little bit more so we can see this better. Okay, 7, 8, 9, right? All right. 7, 8, 9. This one is going to be 10. This one's going to be 11. And this one's going to be 12. And that's 12. Okay. Good. And now let's just go ahead and drop this. Let's see something here. Okay, challenge table. Then we're going to, okay, trial by gauntlet, trial by, okay, so let's do this. Trial by gauntlet. This one's going to be trial by combat. That. Combat. Period, I guess. And this one's going to be trial by mount. Trial by mount. That. Okay. So this one's going to be combat. Now this one's going to be gauntlet and mount. This one's going to say trial by gauntlet. So. And this one's also going to be trial by mount. Trial by mount. Okay, like that. All right, now this one's going to be trial by mount. And so this one's going to be trial by gauntlet. Trial by gauntlet. And this one's going to be trial by combat. Okay. Trial by combat. Okay. So now that we've got there, let's go ahead and save the room data. I'm gonna go ahead and save the scene, even though it's strictly not necessary because it reloads from the JSON files. Pardon me. Okay. Let's see. Now there's only 2 people watching. I wonder. Yeah. People have stuff to do, I guess. That's okay. A lot of this is boring too. So anybody that's still here watching it, I don't blame you for leaving, doing other things or whatever, or just being distracted enough not to look elsewhere. Okay, let's just go ahead and line this up. Go ahead and line this up, and we'll do the same here. Okay. Anyways, if you want to know how I do the doors, then you will watch here in a second. Okay. I'm just gonna make sure these are kind of closed in, close in. Okay, that's fine. And they don't have to be perfect. Well, actually, though, this should be moved over probably, just so I can keep that in line with these 3. We're gonna actually end up moving them. Okay. So I'm gonna show you how. Wait a second. Okay. So I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna do the doors. All right. Okay, so this is gonna have 3 choices in it. So let me copy the. Let me copy this. Let me copy the. If you go into door specs, this is actually where the door information is being held. So we're gonna copy that, and then I'm gonna go here, and in the door specs, I'm gonna go ahead and paste these 3 deals. Now, nothing's gonna happen if you leave these the same, but it's probably just gonna use the last one. So, but we're gonna do this 1, 2, and 3, which is your choice, and then the destination for that is going to be. Wait a second. I'm actually in the wrong one, so it's actually going to be just the one here. So, all right, let's go ahead and X, go X. Okay. So this one's going to go to night school 3. Okay, like that. Like so. Okay, night school 3. And then this is the other reason I'm making the layout tool is I want this to update in real time, and I don't want to mess with real time here in the editor here. So, night school 3, doors. Now we put the 3 doors here. 3 doors. Like so. Okay, so that means this is going to be 1, 2, and 3. 1. Oh, it's got to have a comma in it. 2 and 3. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3, and then this is actually going to go to 4, 5, and 6. So 4. It's going to go to 5. So it's going to go to 6. 6. Now at this point, I could probably go ahead and put the options up here. Hit 1 to go to the into the enrollment, or hit 1 to go to the challenge table or something. Okay, so there's that. All right. Now we're gonna copy this, Control C, and all we're gonna do is just in each of these, we are gonna go ahead and put, and this is gonna be in 7, just because of where they're sitting right here. Okay, and then in 7, I'm gonna go to the door again, and then I'm gonna add in another door, and this is of course gonna go to 10. So, and then here we're going to go ahead and door. We're going to go to 8. There, and then here we're going to go to 11. Okay. And here we're going to go to 9. Go to 9. Semicolon, I was going to do this end of line thing, and it didn't end up working or not being useful for what I wanted, so I kind of left it in there, though, because I didn't want to screw around taking it out. So this is going to go to 12. So, and, okay, so here's where part of the magic happens. I say part because it's still a little bit buggy, which is why I'm building a tool. Okay, so I'm going to save the scene just so it doesn't balk when I try to close or do anything. And I'm going to go ahead and save the room data. Ooh, look at that. Looky. And actually, it looks like these are going right for right now. Usually, sometimes they're like all over the place, or they're we have multiple stuff coming into the same room, then it does them in a weird way. Usually what I have to do is actually reload save scene, and it doesn't really change anything right now, but when the doors are kind of out of whack, it does that. Okay, so now the last thing I want to do is I want to first, this is going to go to night school 2. That's going to be the first one. So this one, instead of going to... Okay, actually, let's do something here. Let's copy this. Control C. And let's go to the last one here. And Wizard U Hall thing here. So let's go over here. Let's go ahead and Control V. Like that. That's fine. We're going to do the same thing in 11 here. Control V. And then we're going to do the same thing with 12. There. Okay, so let's save it again. Let's see what happens. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Save room data. Boop. Okay, so notice how this is like doesn't go anywhere, and it's just because there's a kind of a weirdness here. Now if I reload the save scene, like so, cancel. Let's actually save it first. Okay, and let's go ahead and reload save scene. And if you notice now, it's going to there properly. It's actually got 4 incomings there. And before I wasn't gonna cross or do a loop or anything, but in my layout tool, it's not gonna matter. They're gonna cross. In fact, they're all gonna go to. They're all gonna be the lines are gonna be drawn to the center point of each, and each room is going to be drawn on top of, like kind of like the way this is showing here, but the rooms are gonna be drawn on top of the lines so that you won't be able to notice it. And then I'll add like arrows or something that actually points to the actual boxes and stuff. I'm taking some inspiration from Twine. If you go to Twine, if you look up Twine, and then you do their web-based editor, you'll see how the door links are created, and I'll be sort of looking that way, so to speak. Okay, so anyways, now let's go to let's see something here. Let's go ahead here and let's go to the door and let's copy this one. Now let's go to night school and let's go to its door, and we're going to put it to night school 3. Like so. Save actual room data, and if you notice, no, oh, I messed up. It should be 2. 2, enter, save room data. Okay, there we go. And then scene, reload, save scene. Cancel. I like to save it before reloading it or quitting. Okay. So there's some kind of weirdness in there. Okay, so now the thing I need to do here is I need to copy, or I need to select that. Okay. So let's go ahead and pull this down. And actually, that's not the one I wanted to pull down. Let's go ahead and select all these. Pull them down too. Okay, so we're pulling this down like so. All right. So you see where these are setting now, and then now all I need to do is select these and move them into a more logical place. And if you notice, okay. All right. So let's go ahead and save it. Let's go ahead and save room data. And now we're ready to take on the world. All right. So I guess this is the point where I'm supposed to be doing taking a little drawing break. I want to get up and like stretch my legs for real quick before I do anything. So I'm going to go into OBS, and I'll keep the mic on because I'm not really going anywhere. But I want to put it on here, the be right back sign, so you can still see the desktop there in the background, and you can still hear my voice. I gotta get up and I gotta do it like a quick, stretch of my legs thing here, and then I will set up my desktop so that I can do some practice drawing. I've got links to several different websites that have this little tracing practice for kids, which is something I really need to do. So do little squats here, just so that I am not being sedentary here. All right. Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, I'm coming back now. Hold on a second. All right, let's do this thing here. Switch back to desktop. Okay. Okay, here we are back at desktop. All right. Yeah, Alexandria, you can take a break. You can leave. You can come back. But also to be sure, I'm going to be the stream is going to end at 1 o'clock Eastern time, and the new stream will be back on at 2 p.m. Eastern. So just keep that in mind. If you care to, it's not a big deal. I'm just saying if you want to come back and continue watching or listening or whatever. Um, a guy from IRC, which I'm not sure if he is. He must, yeah, he must have went home, but he often listens. He often puts the stream on in the background because basically I talk through the whole thing. I'm just I'm just a kind of a big mouth basically, especially when it comes to my story stuff. When it comes to coding, if I'm in the middle of a problem, sometimes I don't speak that much. But you know, anyways, so yeah, I'll see you when you get back from your break or whatever, or whatever, whatever. If you decide to um, join in some other time, which is fine. So yeah, thanks for coming in and taking a look at what I'm doing here, and then I'll talk to you whenever. Okay, so what am I going to do now? I got till 12:25. I'm already wasted a few minutes. So what I actually need to do is I'm not going to close anything. I'm going to make sure everything's saved though. So okay, and I'm going to switch my desk around a little bit so that the keyboard is off. And I'm putting the keyboard off to my right, and then about this. Huh. Okay, I guess that works. I have it like sitting on a box that's kind of sort of leaning, sitting on the monitor stand. But it can slide. It's able to slide off at any time. So I'm not really sure how I did it before, but I got to a point where it was able to sit on the desk here without much problem. Pardon me. And okay, so let me go ahead and let me pull up Blender. Actually, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't pull up Blender just yet. Yeah, this is just 4.4. I do have 4.5, but I can't use Vulkan right now because I don't have updated drivers, and it's a pain in the butt to update drivers for Linux Mint Debian Edition, which is LMDE. It's basically regular Mint is based off of Ubuntu, and as sort of a backup, just in case Canonical decided they were gonna make things closed source or do some sort of telemetry or ads or whatever, just in case they were doing something. They were making a pure Debian version of Mint on the back end, and so that's what I chose, which I probably shouldn't have. And so, but because of that, now I don't have the newest updated drivers, so I'm running a version of um, it's amazing. What my thing's amazing, or something that we said. You're gonna have to realize that I got like severe ADHD, so sometimes I get distracted really easily, and I completely forget what I was saying and stuff. So if you're saying my thing's amazing, that's awesome. If you're saying a piece of software I'm running or something that we said or we were talking about earlier, apologies for not remembering because sometimes things go right out of my head just whenever a new piece of information pops in, so I can get distracted pretty easy. But anywho, that's Blender 4.4. Oh yeah, I was just saying I can't upgrade. I can't use Vulkan on Blender 4.4, even though I've got a 3080 Ti RTX 3080 Ti here. I can't use Vulkan. It's super slow for me. In fact, it was super slow until I tell it to go ahead and just use OpenGL, and because of that, 4.5 runs okay. It runs fine on OpenGL backend, but so I can still use 4.4. 4.5 doesn't really matter that much at this point. Okay, so let us. Okay, that's night school. That's not what I want. What I want is I want this, and I want. Did I put that in here? Yes, I did. Tracing resources. Okay. Um, I don't know which one of these I should try. Maybe let's try the kids kindergarten kind of whatever. Well, maybe there's like certain pictures and things. Maybe I should do one of the other ones. It doesn't have anything to do with being like little kid, whatever. It's just specifically I want to be like tracing shapes and lines and circles and things of that nature. So let's see if I can find something else. Let's try the super worksheets first. And honestly, I could go ahead and do all of these. I could trace the, yeah, like these, like here, right? Square tracing worksheet. Here, let's try something here. Let me click on it. It's saved as a PDF though, huh? I don't know. Does Blender allow you to import PDFs as a background image or a reference image? Let me ask. I guess I'll just do it on a search. Brave Leo will probably pop up. Can you import PDF into Blender 4.4 as a reference image or background image? Question mark. We'll see. And I'm trying to drink without the lid on. Okay. All right. So I guess I need to use something like GIMP to actually read it in first. Okay. So let's go ahead and download. If there's a way I could. It's that's saving it as a bookmarks. Oh, I see. It's the same thing. Okay. Box line tracing 1. I'll have to find some place to put it in later. I'll just leave it in downloads right now, though. And let's go to open that new tab. Let's go to downloads. And I don't have much time to trace left, but at least I'm figuring out how to do this thing here. Box line tracing 1, open with GIMP. I don't know which GIMP is which, because I had like the old one. I upgraded to 3, and it's like it has 2 icons or something. So we'll see if this works. If it doesn't work, then it's the second one that I need to do. Somehow I didn't remove the icon out. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's working here. Open with the second one. There we go. The first one doesn't work because the first one's not there. Oh, that's quite a bit, quite large. Okay. Okay, open, sure. Go ahead and close that. And let's go ahead and file, save as. I guess we'll save it back. Or, no, not save as. File, export as a PNG. Let's see, let's figure out. I can, well, maybe I can put it in dev stuff. Maybe I should just leave it in there. Let's go ahead and in dev stuff, and let's create a new folder, and let's put this as, well, actually, well, okay, let's put this as a reference. Reference. We'll do it like that, and we'll go ahead and save this as a PNG, and we'll go ahead and export. That's all fine. Just default settings is fine. Okay. Now let's see what this looks like at 100%. Ooh, big. Okay. It doesn't matter. And I could actually probably use GIMP as a to trace over this, but I still want to do it in Blender. So let's go to back into Blender. I'm almost done with this little drawing thing, which is I'm not really doing any drawing yet. Let's go to new 2D animation. Okay. And now I don't know how to import Legacy Limbic. I don't really know how to do. Um, hmm. All right. So let's window edit. Okay, let's go in there. How do I import a reference image into Blender 4.4 grease pencil? Uh, safely Okja. Go to the 3D viewport. Open the add menu. Click navigate to image reference. Select the image you wish to import. Click import. Image will appear in the 3D viewport as a reference. You can scale and position it using the transform tools. Use the image as a guide for drawing. Right click on the imported reference image in the viewport and select trace image to grease pencil. New grease pencil object, huh? You can also import the image directly into 3D viewport by dragging and dropping it, which will create an image plane. All right. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and just go new general. We'll do that. We'll sacrifice the default cube, like everybody's supposed to do. Then we'll go ahead and Shift A for add, and interesting image reference. Let's go to dev stuff reference. Okay. Hold on. Click import. I don't have import. I got add empty image. Huh. All right, fine. We'll see what happens. Okay, that's fine. Um, to use the image guide for drawing, right click and trace image screen. I don't know about this stuff. Create a new group. Okay. Let's just go ahead and click OK, because I don't really know. That didn't tell me anything. Okay, that's not really what I wanted to do. Huh. Uh, extract grease pencil strokes from image. Huh. I don't know. I should be back to work on the thing here. 9 years ago, huh? Okay, so Blender 4.4. Okay. I was trying to import an image in Grease Pencil layer. I want to have multiple layers, switch to web. Oh, I see. Um, huh. Okay, that doesn't tell me anything. Um, well, I can look at some of these videos, but not only is my time up for that, import image frames for Grease Pencil. And nobody has a deal for that. Um, I made it into Blender and start animating them. Import the image you want to viewport. Right click image, trace image degree simply black and white. Fortunately, I haven't figured out to make the colored text part go. Okay, let's see if Blender Nation can tell me. Create a 2D sketch based on either background image or. Oh, dang it, that's still a video deal. Okay, well, I guess my time is up for that. I guess I'll figure out how to do that later, and then I'll try to do it. Uh, close. Oh, cancel. Just want to close that. I think. I don't need to do anything here. Let's do this. Okay, and let's go ahead and we're just gonna go ahead and close it without saving. That's all right. And I'm gonna put my tablet back over here since I didn't figure out what I needed to do. I'll figure it out later. And we'll go back to working on the story part. And now this is supposed to be 35 minutes, so 25. Oh, so I'm supposed to work till 1, so I only have about 30 minutes left now, which is fine. I mean, yeah, whatever. Okay, so now, if anybody's watched, you can see how I added doors and how I added pages. So now the next thing is to first I think I'm going to go ahead and add the let's see something here. Night school. I'm going to leave that up there like it is. And I'm going to, okay, so I'm going to do the thing that I normally do. and that is I'm going to go ahead and leave the paragraph, the page as it is, and then I'll change it later. But I'm gonna do so. I'm finally able to go anywhere he wants. John decides to enter the enrollment tent. Hit 1 if you hit 1 to continue. Okay. We'll leave it like that. I'm gonna save it. We'll say room data. Actually, I'll go ahead and close this and say room data. Okay. All right. So here, I'm gonna do the thing here. Hit 1 to I don't know if I should hit 1 to continue or hit 1 for John to go to the challenge table. I don't know. I think I'm just gonna hit 1 to continue. Okay. And then we're gonna go into Night School 3. We're at the challenge table now. And then we're gonna do the 3 deals. Hit 1 if you want John to complete the trial by gauntlet. Or the gauntlet challenge. Okay. Hit 2 if you want John to complete the trial by combat. Okay. Gauntlet. And hit 3 if you want John to complete the trial by... Maybe I'll do Steed. I'm not sure. Trial by Steed? I don't know. Anybody that's still watching, what do you guys think? Trial by Steed, trial by Mount, trial by Horsemanship, trial by Equestry, or Equestry, I don't know how you pronounce it. Which is very... Okay, so... Trial by Mount. Anyways. Okay. Now, in here, we have to do a similar deal. I wonder, well... Okay. All right, I guess I can leave it there. That's what I had come up with yesterday. It's just today it just doesn't sound that great, but you know we'll leave it trial by mount here. So in 4, let's go ahead and hit 1. Now I mean I could make basically I'd be duplicating all these different pages. There's no loop backs. Like I intended it not to loop back, partly because of the crisscrossing lines. Although that's going to be a moot point here pretty soon. But also just to kind of go with the flow, like a real choose your own adventure is just for you. You turn to this page, you turn to this page until you hit the end. And so I was mimicking that. So in order to do multiple choices, and to be able to hit all of the choices that you have to hit, you have to duplicate some pages, and I'm just using this method because it's shorter right now, and because I did the 15-page one where you hit all the different options up above, and so I'm trying to vary the configuration a little bit. Anyway, so hit 1 to continue to trial by combat. Like here, it's not going to be okay. This is trial by combat, and then let's go hit 1 to continue to trial by mount. Okay, that. On here we go for combat. So the next one's gauntlet. So hit 1 to continue to trial by, and it seems like gauntlet. Sorry, not combat. And it seems like I kind of shift between like third person and second person. Now, traditionally, choose your own adventure is use second person, right? Because they wanted you, the reader, to feel like you're the one that's doing the thing. You know, if you want to do this, turn to page this. You know, but here it's third person because it's talking about somebody else. You're not portraying yourself as a character. Okay, so hit 1 to continue to trial by combat. Gauntlet, I mean. Um, why is this extra space in here? Okay. Hit 1 to continue to trial by mount. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and over here, hit 1 to continue to trial my gauntlet, and down in here, wait, didn't put that extra, I did put the extra space, right? Okay, hit 1 to continue to trial by combat. So, all right, that seems to work. Okay, so this is just the little bit of scaffolding. In fact, let's do the last ones here. And the last ones are going to be here. Let's do this. So I'm going to actually fill in the text here in a second, and after I do the hit 1 to go whatever. Hit 1. No. Let's see. How does what Hubert sneaks into? Meanwhile, in another, well, in the opposite direction, I don't know. In the opposite direction, Hubert is trying to get into Blizzard University. And okay, so and now I'm gonna copy this. Wait. Hit 1 to continue. Okay, so let's copy this. Okay, and we're going to go to this one. We're going to say the same thing basically. So, okay, what's the deal here? Okay. And then let's go over here and do the same thing. Okay, so let's hit 1 to continue. Now, I can modify this slightly so that it reads a little bit differently. Meanwhile, in another part of the kingdom, Meanwhile, Hubert is trying to break into. What's with you? This kind of offers me an opportunity just to make it a little bit different. So depending on which track you take. Granted, these aren't a bunch of choices, but I need a few choices. I need some choices in between everything else, and then when I come up with like puzzle ideas, like there's gonna be some clues and things that will clue you into how to defeat the challenges. But I'm not really gonna um, come up with what the actual challenges entail. I mean, other than say that he does this and he does this kind of thing. Anyway, so now that is all right, and then okay, so we got I don't know, I got about 15 minutes left before I end part one here. Okay, so let's go to night school 3. No, we haven't. Let's go to enrollment tent. Okay. So let me come up with the text here. John enters the enrollment tent and notices a single man in royal garb at a small makeshift desk. I guess, I don't know, makeshift, temporary, I don't know, folding desk, whatever. John attempts to ask him a few questions when the officer stops him and tells him all his questions will be answered at the challenge table. The desk officer or sergeant, it's gonna be sergeant, but desk sergeant then points to a table to his left where there are 3 knights sitting at a table, apparently bored. So apparently nobody's coming in for quite some time. Actually, I don't need to put apparently bored. You know, this is not the narrative pass. This is one thing I keep saying. I have to keep my mind on what I'm doing. This is only events that happen when you go to different things. I'm not gonna say what they looked. I'm not gonna say kind of what they're doing. Not any elaborate descriptions. It's just he goes over here, he does this, he does this, he does this. Because when I'm completely done, I'm gonna go back over each and every one, and I'm gonna write it as a narrative, like you're reading it, like a book, sort of. Okay. 3 nights. Okay. Presumably, John goes over there, and this doesn't save it, but it's going to save it. Now we're at the challenge table. Okay. Again, now at the challenge table. Again, John tries to ask his questions. I have to think for a second because I kind of want to go in this dialogue where they're 3 are talking, and but at the same time I don't really want to get into the detail of that because I just want this is the basic events here, so this is going to be the boring part here, but it's necessary. The knights stop him and ask him which challenge he wants to compete. When he tries a couple more times, they only counter with which challenge. Okay, so that's a simple text. And okay, so now we're gonna go to the individual things here. And again, these aren't going to be like really that elaborate either. And I'll still have to, like, I'll get this done today, I believe, but I'll still have to write the page of where he actually gets to ask this questions, find out this information. So that doesn't mean that it means the story beat still isn't done even when I'm finished with this, but we're getting there. Trial by Gauntlet. John has to run an obstacle course. After a few failures, he manages to succeed, and then let's see. And then goes on to the next challenge. Okay. Now we're going to copy this. Okay, and we're going to go to all the gauntlet ones. So that's this one. I'm going to put the same words in here. John runs an obstacle course. Fails a few times. Fails a few times. And then manages to complete the course. Okay. Okay, so which one are we in? We're in Trial by Gauntlet. We're in Night School 8. So Trial by Mount is next. Goes on to the final challenge. Goes on to the final challenge. Okay. And then we'll go over this one, and we'll put the same word here. After an obstacle course, failures, he succeeds. And then goes on to the final. Wait. Oh, and then goes on to the last trial. Hit one. Trial by combat. Okay. That's all the gauntlet ones. Okay. Then let's go to trial by combat. And let's say Let's actually do this one. John has to fight with swords. Let's see. Let me think for a second. John has to fight with swords. A masked opponent. Swords. He manages to win the fight and then goes on to the next challenge, right? Okay. Actually, mask isn't the right word, but I'll go with it. Combat. Okay, and we're going to do this. John fights a closed helm opponent with swords. Manages to win a fight. Goes on to the final challenge. Okay. This is okay, so this is trial by combat. So where's the goes on the next challenge? Oh, this is the one I'm working on, right? 7? Okay. Goes on to the last challenge. He manages to win. What? He manages to win. And then goes on to the last challenge. Fights. With an opponent. And darn it. And John fights with the opponent, manages to win, and then goes on to the last challenge. Trial by mount. Okay, I get it. All right. That was trial by combat. Trial by combat. Trial by combat. And trial by combat. All right. Chance to fight. A masked opponent with swords manages to win the fight. And then does not go to the next challenge because there's one. Let me think. Okay. Where are we at? Trial by combat. We are at 12. Where's 12? Okay, 12 is right there. John's fighting a masked opponent with swords. He manages to win the fight. And then what happens? I don't know what happens. What happens? And then he's allowed into the commanders. He's directed to the John is he manages to win the fight, and then he's directed to the commander's tent to be to talk to him. Okay, hit 1 to continue. Meanwhile, how come I don't have a meanwhile on that one? Meanwhile, Hubert tries to break into Missouri elsewhere. Okay. That's what. Meanwhile, Hubert tries to break in. Trial by combat. And we're at 12. And okay. Let's go ahead and save that. And then the last one is trial by mount. Okay. So let's go to trial by mount. See. John then sets out to finish. No. Out to what do they call it? Jousting. John then gets aboard a horse and is John has to joust an unnamed knight. After he wins the joust, he moves on to the next challenge. Okay. So let's just go ahead and find the other trial by mounts. Gauntlet, gauntlet, mount, combat. Go to mount. Okay. He's allowed to go talk to the commander. Okay. I mean, I guess that's alright. This might not be the greatest, but allowed to go talk to the commander. Okay. Let's copy that. And let's go to the meanwhile. Let's go to the final thing. Okay, trial by mount. Shoot, it's already 1 o'clock. It's already, I'm already supposed to be done. Okay, so let me hurry up and get this in here. He finally gets to ask his questions. Okay. So, this is where I am going to stop this stream here. And you can see So basically, I'll test it later probably. Maybe tomorrow. We'll see. So now we got all the pages in, even if they're not that descriptive and stuff. This is just the first pass. The second pass is the what do they call it? The narrative pass. Narrative pass is going to be easier in some ways. It might take more time though because I have to come up with paragraphs and words. I'll have to make it read like a story and stuff. So that's going to be fun. Anyways, yeah. So uh, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for joining in. If you don't see me in part two, uh, but if you are around an hour from now, then I will be here and I'll be working on the layout tool. So you get to see that in action when I get there. So yeah, so thanks, and I will see you in about an hour, or I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching part one. I always say thank you for watching it right at the end screen, although I do it twice because I'm doing two parts now. So, anyways, mic off.